Hi there, welcome to my third video. Today, I want to talk about why it is important to be strong. Do you remember in your 20s when you could play any sports without getting injured? You can go out playing tennis, go snowboarding, go skiing, whatever it is. You do not even think about getting injured. There was no fear and you were strong enough to do whatever you wanted to do. 20, 30 years later, our age, 40 plus, it's a different story. Do you know anyone in their 40s who has never had an injury? Most people are injured or they just recovered from an injury. Why is that? When we are younger, we have a good foundation because we have played our sports and we are doing things regularly. But then as we get older, we have desk jobs, we're not moving around much, and that's causing problems. A lot of times we have gained some weight. We feel like all of a sudden we feel like stiff. You might even have some back problems, which is the number one reason why how you can tell that you're not strong enough. And then people think that like, oh my God, I need to get out there. I've gained some weight. I need to get out there and I need to go on a tennis court. I need to play pickleball. I need to get out moving. And then they go out and then boom, within a few minutes, something pops out. They have some like the hip hurts or the back hurts or whatever, ankle hurts, shoulder, neck. And it's a disaster. So once you have an injury, I see this all the time with clients. It takes a long time to recover. And then people get so depressed and they have so much fear to even get out there again once they have recovered. So I see this all the time with clients. I have a client who I have been working with for a few months now. She is in her mid-40s. She used to be a professional tennis player. And now she has 3 children. So just a few years ago, she wanted to get back on a tennis court. And then she started to get crazy migraines and told me that she had to throw up in trash cans because she was in so much pain and she felt so nauseous and she didn't know what was going on. No one in her life back then told her that she doesn't have enough strength. That's what's causing the problem. And she's told me that she wished I would have met her. We would have met 8 years ago. That would have saved her a lot of anxiety and depression and fear to get out and play sports. And then she gained 40 or 50 pounds. So I got her a lot stronger, more balanced. So she's feeling a lot better. So the reason why it's important to be strong is because when we're strong enough and balanced, that means like every muscle has its certain purpose. And if there's an imbalance, when we move, we don't do these movements ergonomically, which means it's with correct form. When certain muscles are weak, other muscles, they start compensating for this move, but the movement is off. And if we keep doing this over and over again, and it changes the position, even if we don't do this over and over again, even if you do it just for a few minutes, the joint in your the movement in your joint is off, or the movement in your lower back is off. It's not ergonomically the right way it should be, and then that's what's causing the problem. And the most important part of your body is your core, which is your deep layers of your stomach muscles, your oblique muscles, your lower back muscles, your abductors, your inner thighs, your hip flexors, and your glute muscles, and your lower back. So if there is a lack of strength, because this is where all the movement starts, people don't know that. This is where all the movement starts. If your core is not strong enough, there's a very, very high risk to get injured. And some people tell me that they're doing core workouts, and then I ask them, what are they doing? And they say, yeah, I'm doing planks. And I'm thinking, okay, plank is a good core workout, is a good core exercise if it's done with correct form. However, It just takes care of certain muscle groups in your core. It mostly takes care of your front core. You completely neglecting your obliques or your glutes or your inner thighs. They are hardly activated. So if you're only doing planks, you never really get out of that cycle where you get rid of your imbalances. And most people focusing on the front, they're doing sit-ups, they're doing planks, and they're neglecting, for example, guys, they're completely neglecting their glute muscles and their abductors and their inner thighs. They think it's just for women. But no, we need these muscles to stabilize ourselves, to do certain movements. And women, a lot of women, they have a weak core, especially if we have babies. That's a problem too. So pelvic floor muscles are part of the core too. So if they're weak, or if you only train your superficial abs, that can cause major problems in your lower back, for example. I have another example that I wanted to give you. I have a client who was a professional golfer, and he was only practicing, and that's part of the problem. People who play professional sports, they practice certain movements over and over and over again, but they're not concentrating on making sure that your body is balanced. So that you're practicing your golf swings, you're practicing your tennis movements, your servings, like how to serve the ball, but you completely neglected the other side or certain muscle groups. And he was miserable. He had neck problems, lower back problems, shoulder problems. He had terrible neck problems. And when I started working with him, I looked at the whole picture. I did an assessment to make sure that his strength is balanced, and now he's back on the golf course. So just a few months later. So it's very, very, very important to be evenly strong. I wanted to do a rating with you where I wanted you to rate how strong you are. Just imagine you are a tree, like a redwood tree, like a big tree. So your trunk is your core. So if that is strong, no matter how the wind blows, you're solid. You can imagine your legs are the roots and your arms are the branches. So if your legs are not strong, the tree is not stable. So that's why it's important to have strong legs. And your arms need to be, your trunk needs to be stable, your legs need to be stable in order to do arm movements. So if anything in your body is not balanced, if there's one or two muscles that are not strong enough, it can mess you up and you never make progress. So you can recover from an injury, but if you never really know what's going on or where there's a weak muscle, you will never ever progress, and you get out there and boom, you're injured again. So I want to save you from the misery. So that's why I'm so passionate about my job. So I want you to rate yourself how strong you think you are. So if you think you're really solid, then you are 10. If you think like, oh, I'm just like a small little tree that just got planted where the roots are not really developed and my arms are all over the place as soon as the wind blows, that's a 1. So direct message me. I'm curious what your rating is. And then tomorrow we're going to do a strength assessment. So you get to assess yourself how strong you are. Okay, look out for the next video and see you tomorrow.